Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Joyful Breeze podcast. And I am Sue Exner, also known as the Joyful Breeze. And, I've talked about a lot of my messaging and what I'm coming out with, like Be the Breeze, positivity, also stems to letting people know those people in your life that have positive impact on you. And so today I'm really happy to have Rachel with me. Hello, Rachel.
Hello, Sue.
So not only is Rachel like an amazing women entrepreneur, but she's also my sister-in-law. So even more special. So, but I with Rachel, why I wanted to highlight Rachel today is what you've done with Oxygen Yoga and Fitness. Not just the company itself, but like what you've done with the community, how you've been instrumental in like building out a franchise, like literally not just a business, but a franchise. Because there's 3 studios in Regina now?
3 studios in Regina and 1 in Saskatoon.
1 in Saskatoon. So yeah, I remember when you moved back from BC and you said, I'm going to open up a oxygen, or I'm going to open up a yoga studio. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And we were away when you launched, like when you opened, because I think we were on a cruise and I didn't make it to the grand opening, but we came shortly after. And I can tell you like that, wow, that was a first for Regina, like getting that type of workout environment. But it was amazing. Like I love Oxygen Yoga. So I put your logo up there, Oxygen Yoga and Fitness. And so I wanted to just talk about a few things. One, what made you decide to get into this? And I'm going to start there. I usually bombard people with like a ton of questions and they're like,
where do I start?
How many questions? There was a lot there, Sue. So I'm just going to start there. Tell me why you decided to bring Oxygen to Regina.
Of course. Well, first, thank you for having me, and thank you for such a nice introduction and sort of all the nice things you've said about Oxygen. But Oxygen for me has been really special and really part of a journey of myself kind of like coming back to Regina after having been away for so long. I'd been away from Regina for 13 years, and prior to coming back was living in BC, like you said. And I was attending a studio there, and for me, attending Oxygen, I started going there at a time right after I had my kids. And I think my youngest was like a year and a half. And in that space of being like really lost and not realizing like how far I had not let myself go, but just like my like mental space, all of that. And attending this studio, and at the end of the class, we do this, thing, hands over our heart in the shape of a heart. And we say, I love my life. And I remember kind of looking around like,
this feels awkward.
So weird. And I'm like, and then I was like, I appreciate so much about what happens in my life but at that time I was like, I think I was just really in a kind of like a lower place. And I started attending these classes, and it did something for me, like the community, the heat, the affirmation that I love my life, and just this reminder of looking for those good things in your life. And so then when we had this opportunity to move back from Regina, this was one of the things I was going to really miss. And, I have a degree in kinesiology, and I've worked in health promotion, public health through my career. And I was kind of like, this is something I'm actually really going to miss. And so I started looking, is there one in Saskatchewan? I didn't think that there was. And so fairly quickly I reached out to the CEO, the owner of the franchise in BC, and just said, is there interest in having this out in Saskatchewan? And she said yes, and was immediately, on the phone with me and kind of starting to develop a plan for us to bring it out here. So I think maybe now I'm the one that's babbling. And
No, not at all. I think that's because I think, in my opinion, there's one thing to think it and there's another to act on it. And I think for women, and there's a lot of young women out there that may want more. They want to do more. They want more out of their life. How do you go from thinking about it to actually doing it? What was that trigger for you? Because I know for certain that you've had doubts in your head, like, what the hell am I doing? Like, why am I doing this? And And you've also made some sacrifices along the way, right? So it's not like sometimes when we get these things, it's like, oh, look I have this fabulous business and stuff. And it's not always fabulous, but that's okay because those are the things you have to go through. You win or you learn. That's a common saying in our house. You win or you learn in order to like continue to evolve. Right. So what's some of advice or like what got you through those moments of doubt of like, I don't want to do this because there is a difference. It's the same thing with this. I thought about doing this for how many years now?
I know you have. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's people like you that have given me encouragement and be like, oh my God, so you'd be amazing at that. Or like, what if you did this, and that sort of thing. And, did you have cheerleaders in your corner or was it just, what? The thing about Rachel, what you guys need to understand too, though, is like Rachel's very determined. She's I want to say you're stubborn. I would say you're.
I would.
Well, maybe you are.
A little bit.
But you're determined. And when you put your mind to something, you do it. So I think that is a quality that individuals need to have in order to pursue something like what you've pursued.
Yeah. Well, I think there's lots to sort of unpack there. So I think I did have some necessary support, but I also had definitely some people that close people in my ear that were like, this might be a mistake, you need to think about this. And so where that stubborn streak comes in, it's sort of like that, well, watch me, like I'm going to do this out of spite now. So, and I think the push for doing this was really looking at like this was a really good opportunity in a market that there was nothing like this, and I knew for myself what the workouts and the community and the atmosphere had done for me, and that sense of like accomplishment and all of that I knew would land well here. Mm-hmm. There's a really I think Oxygen as a concept is really special with both the yoga and fitness classes, and then layering on the far infrared heat it's really special. There's nothing else like it. And then our style of classes too, it's just like this magic mix that has just been really, really incredible.
And in terms of your classes, like you have yoga, like mm-hmm. traditional yoga classes, mm-hmm. like you have, I think, the fitness, and then you have fitness classes. And I would say I loved the fitness classes over the yoga classes. I still did your yoga class I loved. But I would say now it would be more the yoga classes or fitness just because of where I am in my journey, right? Because the fitness ones, like I had taken a hiatus from Oxygen during COVID because the mask, and I couldn't work out with the mask.
It was
mask on. That was tough.
That's a podcast for another day, Steve.
Yes. And but yeah, like I would say like just the sweat. I never forget the sweat, like the sweat of just, it feels so good. So I miss the fitness classes. Like I want to get back there for that. But just for my own health journey, I'm not there yet,
yeah.
Right?
And I think that's a really beautiful thing. One of the things that I've kind of laughed about, like when I'm out and about in just like running like errands and I see people away from the studio that maybe haven't been there for a while, and they're kind of like shrink back like, oh no, hey, like I'm coming back. And I never want to feel like a source of shame for people. Like I don't want them. And I've always kind of felt, again, one of the special things about Oxygen is that we kind of have something for wherever you are in your day, your week, your life. Like I've been the same, that there's some times that I've really preferred the fitness classes. And then I did my yoga teacher training. Now all I'm teaching right now is yoga. I'm in a time in my life that just like, I need that more like rest. I need like movement, but this is where I'm kind of at right now. I try to still get a fitness class sometimes, but I think that's fine. Right. And so, if today you need to like just kind of like lay it all out, get that good sweat, then you go to a Fast and Furious class. Or if, you're going through some things, you need to release some emotion. Maybe you just need some like quiet. We have a flow class or a deep stretch. And so there's kind of all of those things. You're not just getting the same type of workout every single day over and over.
And I would say too, like with Oxygen, it's a very valid point. Like when people do leave and you haven't been back to the studio, it's like we have this instant like regret, or not regret, like shame. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, I should have been there, right? But at Oxygen, I've never felt judged, and it's always a welcoming. And like, if you can't make it, okay, but you're here today. So let's do this, right? Like I've always felt that with Oxygen, which is the environment. That's why I think I gravitated towards Oxygen so much and why I promote it, because it is a little community. It's fun. Now this was your studio.
Yes.
You recently sold your studio
Yes.
to Katie, and who's also amazing.
She is.
But this was your baby for a number of years. And so you mentioned that you like now you sort of oversee like the Saskatchewan rights, right? But you also teach yoga classes, or you offer yoga training classes, correct? So tell me a little bit more. Like, let's say I want to do more in yoga, and I want to take a yoga class or teach people yoga. What would I do?
Yeah. So I guess part of that journey of me coming back, I originally opened this studio that you see here, but I very quickly then purchased the territory of Saskatchewan so that I could do like the franchise development in the province. And then so part of that then is working with potential owners or new owners on developing and opening their studios and trying to help support them through their running their day-to-day. Also looking at the teacher training side of things. And so if a lot of our instructors now are members that have kind of come up with us throughout the years. And so, and even that process has changed a lot over the years. It used to be only available in person in BC, which is when I did mine, I was like flying back and forth. Oh, it was crazy. But now, again, one of the maybe blessings of COVID is that, the world has gone online. And so we were able to offer these 200-hour training classes virtually. So we, can train people more easily from here. It's not that big commitment of going back and forth. And then with that, we're really training them in the sort of method that we want to see in our studio. So the specific types of classes, they're getting those class formats, but also, and I think most kind of importantly and uniquely to like our Oxygen training is that we have something called safe transfers, which is just ways that we specifically sequence classes for safety in the heat. I think it just makes it, it's interesting because when I take classes now, with other instructors, they're wonderful. But I notice those little things that just like add to the safety, add to sort of the security feeling in your body. Right. And it's really great.
You mentioned the heat. So how hot is hot yoga?
Well, our hot yoga is 38 degrees in the studio space. And so we achieve that a little bit by baseboard panels kind of like boost up the heat, but then we use a far infrared panels to sort of maintain throughout the class. And those far infrared panels, they're so pretty. I always think you just walk in there, they're so pretty on the ceiling. And they just create this nice, even, dry heat. We always can compare it to like a beach day. Like when you walk in, it's not this sort of oppressive humidity.
It's not like getting off a plane in Jamaica and you're just like...
Which we love too.
Well, 100%.
We love
that. But that's not like, that's humidity more. Like,
yes.
This is more just, it's like a warm blanket around you.
And so the idea with the far infrared is that it heats the objects in the room more than the air. And so, certainly when you walk in, it's warm, but it's once you start moving, it's like, it's beginning to warm up your core temperature, and then that sweat starts. And there's, evidence to suggest benefits like for detoxification, circulation. It's really nice. People with, arthritis and stuff find relief in there with their joints and things. And
I remember talking to a member after a class, or I think we were waiting to get into the room, and we were talking, and she had told me that she had hurt her knee skiing, and but by coming to the classes, her knee pain was going away.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, like that's awesome.
Yeah.
Right? Like
I had a similar experience, but back when I was still in BC, I hurt my back, and I'd been running quite a bit at the time, and I couldn't run. Like that was really uncomfortable. And so I was doing yoga, and in particular, the Freedom Flow classes at Oxygen there. And, when you are getting back to running after a hiatus, it can be ugly. Like it's not always nice. And so, but I went back, and I think that the sort of the cardiovascular benefit of those classes, even when you don't feel like you're, doing a cardio workout the same way, was such that when I went back to running, it's great cross training. It's a great way to for injury prevention and healing and recovery.
And so, Something else that you do, and I don't know if you still do this or not, because we haven't done this with you for a while, but is with teams, sports teams, and or like different high schools or whatever have reached out and you've organized a special class. Like I know with Michaela, we brought her soccer team there.
That was fun.
That was even though they talked way too much and the
It was fun
instructor
for
got
me.
mad.
Like,
The instructor got mad. I was like, shh.
well, I
you guys.
instructed them, so they were fine.
No, not you. That the time I won't say who it was,
Okay.
but there was another instructor, and I know yeah.
Okay.
And but no, it was just because it wasn't a private class; it was in with others, which and I did tell the girls be quiet, but you can only do so much.
I think they were like 15 at the time or something.
Oh yeah. It's like even I think 13 to 14.
They were young.
But even like with hockey teams or baseball teams, that sort of thing, like you have teams come in. So it's like to your point of a good crossover and like overall training, it's important. And I would say that, just with Blake, with hockey, like he'll do his weights, he'll do all that stuff, but he won't stretch. And I would say stretching is probably one of the most important things. I've been told now, like, we just did a menopause session, but I've been told by so many different folks around my support table of like do yoga, it's not just the stretching, it's the helps with stress and just I remember going to Rebecca's class and she would make us hold the pose for so freaking long. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to hold this pose anymore. And I told her that after class. I said, yeah, like I was starting to get mad because I didn't want to hold the pose that long. And she said, that means you need it even more because your brain's not stopping because you're constantly thinking, right? And that was an eye-opener for me. I was like, wow, okay, I never really thought of it that way. So there's a lot of different things. Like, yes, it's for health. And yes, it's good to get out and move your body, that sort of thing. But I would say, like, I used to work out at 5:45 in the morning.
Yes.
Won't anymore. But 5:45 in the morning. And it was such a fun little family. And like this whole thing, like for me is like life is supposed to be fun. And you guys have fun at Oxygen. Like I love the when you have like special Halloween classes or, do things at Christmas or you bring the community along with you, the Hot 100, like getting to do the 100 classes. Like, and I think for those type of initiatives, like where are you coming up with those? Is that you generating those ideas? Is it coming from like Vancouver's head office? Like what are you doing to engage your community and keep people coming back?
Yeah. Well, I think that has been a bit of an evolution too. When I started with Oxygen, it was a very, very young franchise, hadn't been around very long. And our corporate office was like 1.5 people. It was like the CEO and a half-time assistant. And now it has grown considerably since then. And so when I initially opened, a lot of those like Hot 100 came out of Saskatchewan. That was one of our ideas. We had like the 12 Days of Christmas, like different kind of like little initiatives and challenges that we would do. And now, as we've grown, we're, I think I would have signed my franchise agreement 9 years ago this July. And so almost, 9 years later, there's just been this growth and evolution that's happened. And so there's less of the sort of the sort of yearly sales and marketing is a lot of that is sort of now approved and comes from corporate, but we still have that ability to look at our community and like what's needed. And so, in Regina, there's 3 different owners now that have, some very specific interests. Melissa is a police officer and she's, interested in like first responders and veterans. And so she'll do a lot around that. Amber in the South is, Indigenous women and she's into Ayurveda and different things. And so she'll, do work around that. Katie is kind of feeling her way in, what she wants to do. And so it's like really kind of taking a look at your community. What do we want to bring in? And then there's those natural spots in the schedule that we don't have our sort of regular core classes. We usually do classes, in the morning and then in the evening, but we have afternoons and sort of weekend times that we can really bring in like sports teams. We can bring in like little yogis and, mommy baby that we've done in the past. And so it's like, what's needed in our community? How can we use this space? And it's always been fun to be able to have like kids of our members in the studio as well. And I mean, a lot of times the little ones especially are just so thrilled to be there because this is where mom comes and she's so happy after she gets home. And so they want to be part of that too. So And I think it's, to another point you made, it's so good mentally, physically, all of those pieces. And if we can get the kids involved in that too, and like the community involved in that, and looking for ways how we can also give back to this community that's supported us now over the last 9 years.
9 years, so 10 years next year. I'm expecting something big.
Well, my sister-in-law is really good at event planning, so I might have to. I might have to get her help to do some things.
I would love to
have
help
an idea.
that. To help that. Okay, so I want to. Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you, because I think that what you've done is you should be very proud of what you've done. And I don't think a lot of times people actually tell people that, and it's hard. Like, I don't know why it's so easy for us to pick on each other and say everything that we've done wrong or whatever, but we don't ever really give ourselves the pat on the back. So I'm giving you a pat, and I've said this before, but I want everyone to know how proud I am of Rachel. You inspire me, and I know you inspire your girls, and
Thank you.
Lots of people around us, but family-wise, definitely. I have we're going to end this on a fun note, because it's all about having fun. And the whole thing about COVID too. Yeah, that's a whole nother, I was going to ask about COVID, but I was like, we'll come back to that. We'll do this again, because this is fun.
This is fun. Okay. I feel like there's lots to say about all kinds of aspects of this, but yeah.
This is fun. So this is just like a little tip into oxygen. Okay, so this is just some fun stuff. So first word that comes to mind when you hear hot yoga?
Sweaty.
That's what I thought so too. Favorite pose in a hot yoga class?
Oh, there's so many I like. I've realized over the years I'm very passionate about baby cobra.
Baby cobra.
Baby cobra.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, we will not be demonstrating this today. Maybe another day. Okay, hydration trick: coconut water or plain H2O?
I usually do a half and half.
Interesting.
Yes, so I can't just drink the straight up coconut water usually. So I will usually go half and half, or sometimes I'll add like an electrolyte into water.
Okay. Have you ever fallen asleep during a yoga class?
Many times. Yeah.
And I know my class, you and I took together, it was a deep stretch.
Yeah.
And somebody fell asleep beside us. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And you and I just started laughing. Like when you try to hold a laugh in, and we couldn't stop. Like I was like, oh my God.
And how dare you look at me during that moment, because I lost it entirely.
We're supposed to be like, all namaste, and I lost it. I did.
I would say though,
because you hear them snoring.
I know, and you're trying, and as an instructor, it's actually such kind of an honor if somebody falls asleep in your class.
Yeah.
But it is like, it's like one of those things. It's just like, you hear it, and then somebody gets the giggles, and it's just domino effect. It's
totally,
but it's wonderful. It's like if somebody can relax and actually like have a moment,
that's
like
actually
they need
a sign of like not just in terms of trust of the environment, but it's just they're so relaxed that they can do that. Oh, I don't think I could fall asleep, but I know I've been relaxed, relaxed. Okay, craziest thing you've seen someone bring to class?
Oh. Somebody did try to come in one time with one of those sauna suits, those like the plastic bag suits. Yes. And I was like, it's already so hot. It's already a sauna, actually. Yeah. And so, no.
Did they have to take it off?
We didn't allow that.
Yeah. I was like, I've never seen that.
Yeah.
I think for me, one of the craziest things is leaving the class, especially in winter, is going to my car, sitting in my car, and I see all the steam coming off of me. That is freaky. That I was like, oh my gosh.
I would say one funny thing is like people often try to leave with our things. Like we'll like walk out with like a Pilates ball or a spray bottle, and they'll go out to their car and they'll come back in. They'll be like,
oh my God.
And we always say it's just you're yoga drunk, and you're just like in this nice little like
you're in a zen.
Yeah. And you're just like collecting things, and away you go. And
that's awesome.
People come back in kind of sheepish.
So what I wanted to just ask you, just to conclude for today's session, is what's next?
What's next? We're looking to open more studios in Saskatchewan.
So whereabouts in Saskatchewan?
Right now I have a new location just sold in Saskatoon. So we'll be opening our second one there, hopefully January of next year.
Okay.
In a process with a couple in Moose Jaw. So hopefully that will be soon. And then there's some space for probably one more in Saskatoon, Prince Albert, maybe Swift Current. So they're just kind of, I'll put that out there if anybody
Put it out
is
to the
looking.
universe.
So yeah, so that with Oxygen. And then for myself, I'm continuing to do some training for myself, doing a yoga therapy certification, and just want to do a prenatal certification later this year. So trying to find other ways to bring different aspects into both Oxygen and then also, and for myself, my own development and growth. Yeah.
And I think it's key, like in terms of those value add, right? You're continuing to always look like what other services can we offer to your community and to your members? So,
maybe some retreats and some stuff locally would be nice.
Well, I still want to do the Joyful Breeze retreat out at the lake.
Yes.
Like I still want to do that. So maybe we can put something together. I don't know. Put it out to the universe, right?
We'll do it.
You never know. Yeah. So, well, thank you very much, Rachel, for joining
Sue.
today. And thank you for tuning in. If you haven't tried Oxygen Yoga and Fitness yet, I highly recommend it. As Rachel said, there's 3 locations in Regina and 1 with another one coming in Saskatoon. So definitely go out and try it. And I know you guys have like Karma Weeks and stuff like that too. So if you want to try it, check it out. And remember, be the breeze. Uplift others with positivity and let others know when they've had a positive impact on you. So thank you very much, Rachel.
Thank you, Sue. This was a pleasure.